This is Basketball More Than a Game with your hosts, Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Former high school coach and player have teamed up again to share their knowledge of the game and life skills on and off the court. Now here are Coaches G and Q.
All right, this is Coach G, and I am in the studio along with the greatest co-host this side of a basketball court. But before I kick it down to Coach Quick, we just want to welcome everybody back in for another fast break episode of Basketball More Than the Game. Like we always say, make sure you have your sneakers laced up tight because today it's going to be Coach Quick and I throwing down like always. Coach Quick, what's popping?
Hey, what's going on, Coach G? You want to know what's popping with Coach Q? Well, Coach Q is so excited about today's show. I feel like I'm inside the Staples Center, waiting on LeBron James to catch a lob from Russell Westbrook and throw it down. So after this short break, we're going to come right back. So stay tuned and make sure those sneakers are laced up tight.
Folks, we are back in, and you know what? We've got the show today is, and I told Coach Quick, you know, even before we came live on the air, it was like, man, it's a little strange today because it's just gonna be he and I, you know, talk about some, you know, of course, basketball life and everything that goes along with that, and we just want to thank all of our guests that we've had on so far this year. Well, you know what? We're not doing a year in review yet because it's just only November. But we will be doing that. But we want to thank all of our guests. We want to thank all of our followers. We are really, really excited from the direction that we're headed. We've only got 8 states left to be in every state in the United States. We're hitting 17 foreign countries, and that cannot happen without great listeners and followers and my great co-host. I mean, he studies every week. He pushes the envelope. He pushes Coach G to bring out the best in myself, and we certainly appreciate Coach Quick and his lovely wife for the time that they take out for us to bring this show each and every week. So, hey, listen, we're going to get right into this pick and pop session. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the embarrassment of these reporters, how they address Coach Mike Tomlin, head football coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just kind of really want to touch a little bit on this, Coach Quick. It was an embarrassment to me for the reporters to come at Coach Tomlin the way they did, asking him was he interested in the University of Southern California job? What's your take on that?
Well, Coach G, you know, my take is I think you're absolutely correct. It's just an embarrassment to ask Coach Tomlin about that job. Coach Tomlin has probably one of the top 5 jobs in all of pro sports with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like he said, you wouldn't ask Andy Reid that. You wouldn't ask Pete Carroll. You wouldn't ask those type guys if they're interested in the USC job. Mike Tomlin, like he said, he's where he wants to be, so do not ask him that question again. He's with the Steelers, and he's primed and trying to get them back to another playoff run. So don't be disrespectful and ask him about the University of Southern Cal. He's a Steeler, and he's a Steeler for life.
You know what, and I appreciate that, man. Even because as a lifelong Steeler fan, you know, people take pot shots, but when you line up the records of course, you know, we go back to the legendary Chuck Nolan, 4 Super Bowls, and people's like, but again, not taking anything away from Coach Nolan, but that was pre-free agency. When you locked in, you were on the squad. You know, it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to go over here and play for 3 years and I'm going to bounce. So, again, not taking it away from 4 Super Bowls, but the game is different because players move and all of that. But the thing that was upsetting is how they came at Coach Tomlin, who's never had a losing season at Pittsburgh. And we just, you know, certainly appreciate his body of work. And as he always says, you know, the standard is the standard. And if we challenge you to stop, you know, take a couple minutes, go back, take a look at that press conference. And I think it was a lot of undertone. There was a lot of undercurrent kind of going across back and forth. But watch that video, make that opinion for yourself.
You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
Now, we're going to kick it over to Coach Quick, and we're going to talk a little bit about college football. Coach, what you got?
Yes, sir. Coach Goins, you know, yesterday I was sitting back and I was watching some college football,
Yes,
and
sir.
I, just enjoying myself.
Yes, sir.
And On Tuesday night, the first college football playoff poll comes out. And right now, our top four is listed as the Georgia Bulldogs, who are 8-0.
Okay.
The Cincinnati Bearcats, number 2, at 8-0. Alabama's Crimson Tide at 7-1. Oklahoma Sooners are 8-0. And I'm going to give you the top 6, actually.
Okay.
Ohio State, who beat Penn State last night to go 7-1. And currently, Michigan was number 6 in the AP poll. They lost yesterday to Michigan State in a doozy. I touched bases with you yesterday about the game, and Michigan was in control for most of that ball game. But then late in the fourth quarter, this is why I don't like the 2-quarterback system.
Okay.
You come out and you bring in a quarterback who's more of a running type quarterback. He's a young kid, and he goes to hand the ball off to the tailback. Before he gets the ball secured within the tailback's belly, he takes a step out the way, fumbles the ball on the ground. Michigan State recovers the ball, goes down the field, scores the go-ahead touchdown over Michigan. Michigan got the ball back, but the momentum was seized. The Spartans had overtook the momentum, and they beat the Michigan Wolverines yesterday. Their rivals. So now we're looking at this first ever college football playoff poll on Tuesday night. Personally, I'm gonna name my top 6.
Okay.
And I'm looking at Georgia as number 1.
I agree.
I gotta go with Cincinnati as number 2.
Okay.
Alabama 3. And I'm gonna put the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Okay. Wow.
Over the Oklahoma Sooners at number 4.
Okay. Now, let me ask you that: why you bumping Ohio State above them Sooners?
Their body of work.
Okay.
Ohio State, and this is my personal feelings on it. Now they still got to play Michigan.
Okay.
And they still got to play Michigan State. If they went out and beat Michigan State, and then they win the Big Ten championship game, Ohio State will be securely in the playoffs. Now, we got to wonder, though, will Cincinnati be bumped as they've been bumped over the past couple of years? Because, Oklahoma's worthy. They're worthy of being in the top 4. But then you have to look at Michigan State. You still have to look at Michigan. But one of those teams could end up having 2 losses. Michigan or Michigan State, depending on what happens with Ohio State.
Well, I think if anybody gets bumped, I think it may be Cincinnati, and we definitely will give a shout out to our good friend Chris Laporte and hope that it doesn't happen. But when I'm going to use one of your phrases, when you look at their body of work, the strength of schedule, I think that may kind of not be in Cincinnati's favor. For what it's worth, in my opinion. But if I had to pick, you know who I'm riding with, don't you? My dogs.
Yeah, tell me that.
My dogs, okay? As a former guy that used to live in Monroe, Georgia, which was just south of Athens, Georgia, and been able to go over to a couple of games, man, when you play in that stadium, and as I said, in between the hedges, they put out, and they just bring it, man. So hopefully all the top schools are able to get in and just have a fantastic playoff run. But if I had to pick it right now, I'd want to see Alabama and Georgia, just to be honest with you.
Yes, sir. Without question, to me, they're probably still the best 2 teams in the country. And my take on that is I feel like Georgia could end up with 1 or 2 losses and still be in the playoff.
Why not?
I feel like Alabama could end up losing again if they lose to Georgia, and I still think they could end up in the playoff.
And that's the little piece that, Coach, I'm be honest with you, that's why I kind of struggle with college football a little bit, because if the NFL was built like college football, I don't think it would be as popular. You think about team that won the Super Bowl last year might have had 5 losses, or if I lose a game, and then of course if I lose 2 games, and then then I can't move. And people say, well, college football. Well, I understand all of that, but I don't. Just because anybody can be beat on a given day, and that doesn't mean that I don't need to continue, that my body work because we have a bad game doesn't mean I can't come back and finish strong. But yeah, that's my only hang up, if you will, with college football. Just because I lose a game, don't throw the season out with the bathwater. Just because I picked up an L along the way.
Completely agree.
And then appreciate you talking about that. What about the World Series? I mean, here's the thing. I'm a big Yankee fan, and everybody that knows me knows that I love the guys in the pinstripe. But how about those Atlanta Braves?
Man, they're playing excellent so far within the postseason. They're 7-0 at home, and the game 5 tonight, they're at home again. So I mean, the Atlanta Braves are just playing outstanding baseball. I mean, I guess everybody took them for granted going into the postseason. Because nobody had them picked to get to the World Series.
But you know what, Coach? You're exactly right. There's and it's been a long time, and I don't know the exact years, and you may, but the Braves haven't been in the World Series. But just what a great market, what a great city Atlanta is. Hats off to them and their fans, and that's what you really celebrate. Almost like when you look back last year with the Bucks winning from Milwaukee, but the folks of Georgia and Atlanta be able to get in there and really experience it. And here's the thing that really made me kind of reflect. Was last game when Hank Aaron's wife, she was on the field. His son, Hank Aaron Jr., along with his kids, they threw out the ceremonial first pitch. People don't. A lot of times people, they think Jackie Robinson, because he was the first one to break the color barrier, but don't realize that the things that Hank Aaron went through. Going through because when he was getting ready to break the home run record, the death threats. You think about that, Coach. Receiving death threats just because he's playing the game and he's about to beat, he's about to break Babe Ruth's home run record. But to go through that and constantly persevere, being a leader, and again, a lot of times his story's not told. And of course, he passed in January. But just hats off to his family, and I thought that meant a lot for them to take time out, honor him, have his family out, and throw out that first pitch. Your thoughts?
Outstanding. I thought that was great, and you're right to receive death threats because you're about to break the home run record. That man, wow! Just to show you how the times were back then, and to be honest with you, Coach G, those times really haven't changed much. And we're here in 2021. But I think it was an honor to have his family out there to throw out the first pitch.
Exactly right. So, hey, listen, you are listening to Basketball More Than the Game with Coach G and Coach Q today. And you know what? We are in the cockpit in the studio ourselves, but we are chopping it up. And we're going to step away, and we'll be right back.
Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick. We are back, and we are in the studio ourselves. Can you believe that? We don't have any special guests. It's just Coach and Quick and I catching up. It's probably been since July since he and I actually in the studio by ourselves, and we are just so grateful for all of our guests that's coming on in the next couple of weeks. And we're just going to finish the year strong. But right now, we just, kind of talking a little bit about basketball, NBA, what we went into, talked a little bit about, stuff that's just going on in the sports world. But now we're going to get ready to get in the paint. And in the paint, we're going to be talking about college basketball. And Coach Quick, I got right here in my hand the top 25 teams in the country.
Yes, sir.
And as always, how many times are we going to see college basketball writers put Gonzaga Bulldogs at number one?
They're going to constantly keep them there. But are you a regular season team or are you a postseason team?
And it's just like, you know what? And I get it. But I tell you what, them jokers ran into the buzzsaw last year, man. Them daggone bait, man. That game was over within the first 5-10 minutes, maybe even probably the first 7 minutes of the game.
Yes, sir.
They had never seen speed like that. They never seen. It was just it was.
Defensive
Oh
intensity
my
like
god! Oh my god! It was off the chain. All right, number two, UCLA. Number three, Texas. Number four, Michigan, and number five, Kansas. Any shakedown with any of those? The top five.
uh, no, I mean, I like that top five.
Okay.
I really do.
All right, so here we go. Number six is Memphis. Seven is Villanova. Eight, Purdue. Nine, the Baylor Bears. And 10, Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, we'll say this. You know Penny going to have the Memphis ready to roll. Jay Wright's going to have them tight in Villanova. So what's your take on that next five?
I completely agree. They're going to be ready. Memphis is bringing in two outstanding stud freshmen in
Yes,
Jalen
sir.
Duran and Imani Bates, who reclassified to 2021. And also, Penny added to his staff. He brought in a living legend in Larry Brown, and he brought in another former Tar Heel, in Rasheed Wallace.
Oh, I know.
Also, yes, sir. And also, he had Earl Timberlake transfer in from Miami, along with Jonathan Lawson, who transferred in from Oregon, who's joining his brother, Chandler Lawson, who's an incoming freshman. Memphis should be loaded to the gills. Now, can all those guys play together? Well, that's what they in between the lines doing right now. They practicing. They better be ready because the season opens up in about a week.
Wow. Excellent assessment. So, number 11, Duke. 12, Kentucky. 13, your boys, North Carolina Tar Heels. Number 14, Arkansas. 15, the Fighting Illini. What's your take on that next five?
I tell you what, that if those guys are in the top just from like 11 to 15 or 10 to 15, man, college basketball is going to be a very exciting year because you got to believe Coach K is going to have Duke ready to roll in his final season in Durham. I mean, he's coming back with two key freshmen in Paulo Banchero and Trevor Keels, who can flat out shoot the lights out of it. He's also returning Wendell Moore. He's returning his point guard, Curran Roach, from last year. And also returning his big man, Mark Williams. So I expect Duke to challenge for a Final Four berth. They're going to be great, as always. Coach, and of course, you know, the swan song for Coach K. They're going to be doing everything they can. They're going to do everything they can to make sure he wins a national championship. Personally, I hope they don't. But I mean, they're going to do all that they can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kentucky, John Calipari, you know he's got to be fighting at the bits to get his guys back to the winning circle. They were horrible last year.
Terrible.
I don't know what he put together last year on his team, but the chemistry was not there. The mix wasn't there, you know. But I fully expect them to be better this year. Bringing in a couple of transfers. They got a big kid from West Virginia coming in to play the center. Kellen Grady, a sharpshooter from out of Davidson University College. He's coming along to play. He's a 6'3", 6'4" shooter that can flat out shoot the ball, shoot the lights out of it. And he also got a transfer in Sabir Willer from the University of Georgia, along with freshman Ty Washington coming in. So I fully expect Kentucky to be back in the mix. North Carolina, they're returning quite a bit. The first time in a long time we've returned our returning point guard in Caleb Love. RJ Davis is back, along with Mondo Baycott, who is going to be outstanding this year. I feel like he'll be the best big man in the ACC. We also hit the transfer portal hard and brought in Dawson Garcia, the Big East Freshman of the Year from Marquette. Justin McCoy, who's a 6'8" tweener between the 3 position and the 4 position, who played at the University of Virginia last year. So you know what he's going to bring to the table. He's going to bring leadership. He's going to bring defense. He's going to bring three-point shooting. We also got who I think may be the best shooting big in the country in Brady Manick from Oklahoma. He's a 5th-year senior. He's going to be there We also brought in Dontre Styles and DeMarco Dunn, two highly touted freshmen. So I fully expect the Tar Heels of North Carolina under first-year head coach Hubert Davis to make a run. We're without Roy Williams for the first time in 18 seasons. But ladies and gentlemen, hey, it's just like we say on basketball more in the game. Hey, you got to make sure those sneakers are laced up tight because we on to the next one. Let's get down with the get down.
Watch out now. That man, that man right there, boy, he ready to roll the Chapel Hill right now. He may drop the mic and unplug his headphones. I might have to finish the show myself. But great break. Now, what about these? I'll read off these next 10. So you got Houston Cougars at 16. And you know Kelvin Sampson going to have them rolling. Then you got Maryland at 17, Oregon 18, LSU 19, 20 is Ohio State, 21, Auburn Tigers. Now, you know Bruce Pearl he chomping to get up out of 21. 22, right. Tennessee. And you know Rick Barnes is going to do it. And then 22 is Tennessee, 23, Notre Dame. Mike Bray's going to have them ready to rock and roll. And how about number 24, Florida State? Now, you know Leonard Hamilton is chomping at the bit. And then number 25, you can never count out Tom Izzo. So so top to bottom, it's really, really hard to see that many blue blood. Think about it, from 10 all the way to 25. You got Duke, Carolina, Notre Dame, Florida State, Michigan State. There's a lot of people down under number 10 that I think that may be sleeping. Your thoughts?
I completely agree. And if those teams or the teams that's from 10 to 25, my Lord, we about to have a great college basketball season, and I can't wait. You know, so let's get ready to lace them up tight.
That's right. Make sure you got them batteries changed in that remote, because
yes, sir.
You're gonna be going back and forth. All right, so we're gonna switch over. Let's talk about the first team All-American preseason. Right now, we got Drew Timme out of Gonzaga. We've got Cockburn out of Illinois. We got Gillespie from Villanova. We've got Jackson Davis from Indiana. And we've got Buddy Boeheim from Syracuse. Now, here's my take on that right there. I think they're throwing them a bone. And the reason why I say I think they're throwing them a bone, because when I pull up my list right here, they got Syracuse at number 29. And you got a guy on first team All-American, and your team number 29, something wrong. I ain't buying that. I'm not buying that, and that's just me. Okay. Second team, we've got Hunter Dickinson from Michigan. We've got Trevor Williams from Purdue. We got Johnny Jędrzak from UCLA. That kid can go.
Yes, sir.
We got Max from Abbas from Oral Roberts. And then you got Julian Champagny at St. John's, the second team. Those of you who don't know, Julian is a twin brother of Justin, who's playing now. He played for Pitt, but now he is with the Toronto Raptors. Now, I'm going to jump let's see. Yeah, there's no note that really. Oh, Scottie Pippen's son, Scottie Pippen Jr., is on the third team, and he is running with the Vanderbilt Commodores. Now, at fourth team, you got one guy in the ACC on the first team. There's no ACC guy on the second team, no ACC guy on the third team. Here's the fourth team: Armando Bacot, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Marcus Carr, Texas. Jalen Shackelford, he's Alabama. Illinois has got Andre Colbello. And then they got Remy Martin at Kansas. And then the last team, which is the fifth team, is Mark Williams from Duke, Paul Scruggs from Xavier, Nate Washington from Providence, Marcus Sasser, Houston Cougars, and Adam Flagler at Baylor Bears. So when you look at that, and you go, and I'm pulling my top list back out, you get Gonzaga, and they got Timme, who I thought he's a little hype guy. I don't think he's as good as Pete May. I think he got a lot of his buckets just because of the guys that he played with. But Gonzaga, here's the deal, man. I'm gonna call y'all out. I'm sick of you being number one and you can't get it done. For what it's worth, I'd be like, you know what? Don't put me number one, because now you're gonna go out here, you're gonna run, you're gonna be beating up all these teams that you're really not playing tough. But then when you get in the tournament, somebody said, well, it was in the National Championship. Well, I watched them last year, and I watched them when I was in Arizona when Carolina beat them. You know, why can't they get over the hump? Coach, what's your thoughts on that?
I completely agree with you, and I think they cannot get over the hump because their strength of schedule is not as strong. Sure, you play some top teams early in the preseason and early on in the season, but when it comes down to conference basketball, you have to be battle tested, just as the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, the Pac 12, the SEC. You have to be battle tested in your league. Drew Timmy may not even be the best player on his team this year.
Wow.
Chet Holmgren, who's a 7'1" freshman, who got ball skills like a Kevin Durant and can shoot the three ball, may be the best player on Gonzaga's squad this year.
All right. So what? You know what?
So
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
I just don't. I'm with you. I think Gonzaga will run out of gas when it comes down to the Final Four, Elite Eight, wherever they may end up. I just think they'll run out of gas. I don't think they're battle tested enough.
Yeah, and that's the call out that we're gonna call out to Gonzaga. Put some beef on your schedule. Jump down in here and play at ACC school. Jump down here and play Baylor. And I may be speaking here because I think they were supposed to play Baylor and the game was canceled due to COVID.
Yes, sir.
Early in the season. So okay, I stand corrected. So you had them on there, but man, when you fill out the national, I'll never forget when they kicked the ball out to the wing in the national championship game, and that guy was getting ready to shoot that 3-pointer, and Baylor's guys closed out so quick, the kid just landed with the ball in his hand.
Exactly.
And I remember looking at my wife and I said, you know what? This is over. They're done.
Correct. But Coach G, like you said, they had Baylor on the schedule. It was canceled due to COVID.
Right.
But if you're only playing one or two of those teams, then after that, who else is on your schedule?
Right. Yep.
You have to be battle tested in your league.
Yep.
They run through that league, the West Coast Conference, year in and year out. Join the Pac-12. Go to the Pac-12, play UCLA, play Arizona, play those teams. And then you're battle tested year in and year out.
And and if you can't, of course, if you can't get out of that conference, you got to schedule some. You got to come to Durham. You got to come to Chapel. Play them because here's my thing. If I'm the Gonzaga coach, I'm tired of not being. Yeah, we got there. We were in the fight. Think about it. And my mind serves me when Carolina beat them and then Baylor beat them in the national championship game. So for what that's worth, I'll get off beating up Baylor. So listen, we're going to step away, but we'll be right back as we start wrapping this up.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
In the studio together. It's kind of strange that we don't have somebody on today. Coach Quick and I was talking about that earlier, but it's all good because now we get ready to transition, and this is what we always say: make sure you got your sneakers on, you got them laced up really tight, because we are talking about our fast break session. Coach Quick, what's popping?
Hey, Coach G, you want to know what's popping? I want to talk about this 75th anniversary NBA team.
Go ahead.
I want to know, what are your thoughts on some of the guys that were left off? We won't go over the whole list of teams, but I know I got a list of about 6 guys who I feel like should have been on the team, but you can't put everybody on.
Yeah, and I appreciate you tossing that my way, and I'm going to try to do my best with that. But and I know when you make a list that you're going to miss somebody, but here's my thing: at what point do you have to cap it? Can you only have 75 players on the team? Is that what they were trying to do? Is only have 75 players because it's the 75th year?
Right.
Right. So maybe so, but I think, all honesty, Dwight Howard should have been on that team. And I don't know. And I think a lot of times Dwight is, and here's my challenge to the young folks that's listening and that's out there is, when you damage your brand, sometimes it's very hard for people to look past the damage. You look at Pete Rose, we ever get in the Hall of Fame, and not switching to baseball, but this just kind of comes to my mind. Dikembe Mutombo should have been on that team. Vince Carter should have been on that team. Yao Ming should have been on it. I mean, and again, when I just stop and look, But those are the ones that really stand out. What's on your list, Coach Q?
Okay, my list. I feel like Bernard King
Oh,
should have been on the team.
how'd I miss that one?
Vince Carter,
Yep.
Tracy McGrady,
Wow.
Adrian Dantley, Chris Bosh, and Dikembe Mutombo. And also, I gotta add in two more that I felt like should have been on the list.
Go ahead, brother.
Kyrie Irving and Grant Hill.
Wow. When Grant Hill is not on the list, and what I call Mr. Basketball, or he's running USA basketball, but those guys, Kyrie, again, that's the issue that you run into when you make a list. How do you leave those guys off? I didn't hear you say Dwight Howard. You didn't think Dwight should have been on?
Yeah, I felt like Dwight should have been on there.
I mean, because, and the reason somebody asked me the other day was like, why you say Dwight Howard? I said, man, you realize, I said, after Shaq left out of, Dwight Howard was the big.
Exactly.
He was the big in the league. I said, you don't take it from me. I said, pull his stats up.
That's exactly right.
Right? Don't believe anything I'm telling you. Pull his stats up and then let's talk. Because people fail to realize, man, Dwight Howard, when he, of course, once again, I'm going to go to these young dudes, is when that's how you have to protect your brand. You get out here and you don't take care of business, and you make some bonehead moves, and a lot of times people can't look past that. But your list is right. Adrian Dantley, not on that. GH Grant Hill, not on that. Kyrie and again, are they trying to only have 75 players because the 75th year? And then think about Vince Carter. Vince Carter played how long in the NBA?
At least 18 to 20, wasn't it?
Yeah, so in that, and then, gosh, man, and that's the thing, because somebody has to be left off.
Right.
But I think what needs to happen, they need to come back in and drop a little amendment in there and say honorable mention, or somebody says, well, you're watering it down. Well, I get that, but when you leave, and here's who I don't think should have been on the list. I don't think AD should have been on the list. And again, I'm probably saying that because I'm not a big AD fan, but I don't think he should have been on the list. Just because I think there's been other bodies of work that kind of might have canceled him out. But again, congratulations to all of the guys that did make the list, and the ones that did not. We salute you. We honor you in that. Also, Coach Quick, while we're here talking about in our fast break session, I was reading earlier today, the folks that don't know, the Ernie Johnson that's on TNT with Shaq, yes, Kenny, and Charles. His son passed, and we just want to just send our condolences to Mr. Ernie Johnson. He's the glue. He makes that show go. And I know everybody talks about Charles, Shaq, and Kenny, but Ernie Johnson he's the rudder. He's the guy. And I know his son had battled a disease all of his life, and the time. And I was really watching today and went back and watched the video. His son really liked a lot of cars, and they would always, he would do what he needed to do, get him ready, get him in his wheelchair, and he and Ernie would go to this car show, and just their relationship. So, on behalf of Basketball More in the Game, Coach Goins and Coach Quick, to the Johnson family, we send our condolences. Job well done with the time that you had with your son, amazing young man, and the care that you all provided. So those of you that know Ernie Johnson personally, please stop along the way and just be grateful for what you have. And again, I know his family is going through, so we certainly appreciate all the prayers going to that way. All right, hey, Coach, so what do you think about the NBA current standings?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a few surprises up at the top, and definitely some surprises at the bottom, but it's early. And I feel like some teams are trying to get their mojo together. They're getting the chemistry. So I just feel like, it's early. Give it time. And some of these top teams who you assume should be at the top right now, they're not there. But come Christmas time, January, we'll see a difference. Okay. Like right now, current standings in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks are leading the East. I'm glad to see that. I feel like the Knicks are back. I like their team. I like the makeup of their team, but can they be consistent in a playoff setting?
Mm. And they really playing injury free.
Exactly.
You know that's got a lot to do with it. But yeah, when you said when I was looking at it earlier, I said, man, when's the last time the Knicks were leading the conference? But they're 5-1. You know, so
Yes, sir.
hats off to the Knicks and their body of work. But the number 2 team, I think you kind of high on them guys, the fellas out of Miami.
I'm really high on the Miami Heat. I really am. And honestly, I feel like, okay, I feel like they're going to the finals.
What?
But
What?
I feel like they're going to the NBA finals.
Can I write that down?
Yes, sir. Write that down.
Okay.
I think they'll be in the finals only if Kyrie Irving doesn't get his stuff together.
Mm.
If Kyrie gets it together and he gets back to his team in Brooklyn, then I feel Brooklyn will be in the NBA finals. But at this day and age, the day that we're recording this show, I got the Miami Heat going to the NBA finals.
All right, I'm gonna write that down, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. We're gonna talk
Yes,
about
sir.
we're gonna talk a bit. We're gonna talk about this down the stretch as well. But Coach Quick, typically Coach Quick he's dialed it in. So listen. So also the Heat are 5-1. The Wizards are 5-1. But what about your number 4 team, the Bulls?
Yeah, and I was excited about the Bulls all season long, all off season long when they made these acquisitions.
Okay.
But my thing with the Bulls, can you be consistent in the playoffs?
Okay.
You got DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, who are your 2 stars. You got an up and coming young point guard in Mike and the kid from LA.
Okay. So let me ask you this right here. What about them in this right now? They're in the six. What them 76ers? Well, we know Ben Simmons is out, and again and it's personal. It's not an injury. It's he's dealing with some personal stuff. So what do the Sixers need to do?
Honestly, I think Philadelphia should try to get what they can get for Ben Simmons. I would go straight to the Brooklyn Nets and ask them, what does it take to get Kyrie Irving moved for
Wow.
Ben Simmons?
Wow.
What does it take?
Wow.
I would look at doing that. And back to the Bulls for a second.
Okay,
The kid's
yes,
name
sir.
is Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball. Okay.
Up and coming point guard.
Yes, sir.
I like what he brings to the table.
Okay.
But
All right.
those Sixers is still something that is just off about them. The point guard play needs to be there. Ben Simmons he's an excellent defender, but he's not a leader.
Mm.
He's not a leader. And when you go into the playoffs, you got to have all facets of your game intact. You need a leader.
And
if him and Joel Embiid are not on the same page, then you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle.
Yeah, and also he got to make free throws.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just gonna come straight out and call it away. I am not paying a player $100 million and he can't make free throws. I'm sorry. I can't do it, Coach Quick. I cannot do that. And
I completely agree.
And you're in the league, and what are you doing all season that you're not working on your jump shot? I mean, I'm just like, you know what? It almost turns back in when they used to do the old hack a shack, right? Hack them and put them on the line to turn that ball. But in today's game, with all the technology, the coaches, and you can't tell me that assistant coaches haven't gone to this kid and say, hey, we can do this, this, and this, and this. And I don't know what it is, but I really say, so here's my question. Would Ben Simmons be in the league if he was 6'5"?
I don't think he would.
Okay. So you heard it right here from Coach Quick and Coach Goins. You know what? And I'm not a Ben Simmons fan. I hate what he did to LSU. He goes down there and just then the coach ends up losing his job. I mean, it's almost like everything revolves around him. And I don't know if Philadelphia is big enough for him and Joel Embiid.
And I completely agree with that. And it's like I said, it's about leadership. He hasn't been a leader from the time he left high school to the time he's in his time in the NBA right now.
Yep. And so here's the thing. Let's jump on down here and talk about these Milwaukee Bucks at 3-3. Now
Yes, sir.
they are ate up with injuries.
Yes, sir.
So you've got let me go to my list here because I don't want to misquote. So you got the injuries for the Buck, and you may know that right at the top of your head as I scan through my. Here we go, right here. So you've got Drew Holiday that's out. When I say out, he is out because there's no tentative time back. Then Brooke Lopez is out, and then the kid from Villanova, Dante
DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo. Yeah, he's out. So again, he was out doing the playoffs. So he may come back and find his he may be trade bait just because they won the championship when he was out. I don't know. Hope that doesn't happen. But that's three people that are out. So and let's see, what are the Bucks running right now? They playing 500 ball.
Right. And the fact of the matter is Bobby Portis was out some at the beginning of the year.
That's correct. That's exactly
So
right.
I mean they're struggling, and then on top of that, you lost a key piece to that to the Miami Heat when you lost PJ Tucker. So you lost your best defensive player other than Giannis.
Come on.
And you lost a leader and some toughness.
You know what, PJ, and I remember talking to Ralph Sampson after the championship, and when Ralph was player development coach for the Phoenix Suns, PJ Tucker was there, and he was like, he couldn't throw it in the ocean, but he could play the heck out of some defense.
Yes, sir.
And that's why he's been in the league. So we wish those guys well. What about, you know what? I tell you a team that I really kind of fell in love with last year that's at the 9 spot right now, and they 3-3 and kind of shocked. It's them Atlanta Hawks. I'm just like, I think they're trying to find themselves, and hopefully they didn't drink too much success too early. But I thought for sure they would be better than 3-3 at this point.
Yeah, I definitely did too. And the thing is, I can't put my finger on what's going on with them because they're injury free right now.
That is exactly right. I just flipped my list back over, and they have no major injuries in Atlanta. So I think they should be better than that. Now, let's go up north. Now we done beat Kyrie up enough, but now here they are sitting at 3-3. And in my opinion, that's terrible, man.
It is. And if the playoffs started today, the Brooklyn Nets would be on the outside looking in. So would the Los Angeles Lakers. They will be on the outside looking in. And James Harden has gone on record to say he didn't do any basketball activity during the summer. He was doing rehab on his hamstring.
Wow.
He said he would love for the 15 and 20 points to come, but right there, he just did no basketball activity. It was just rehab.
Wow.
But when I look at James Harden, he can score. He can roll out of the bed and score in the NBA.
Right.
But his body just looks funny to me.
That's a great call out. And once again, think about it. Here's the thing that people fail. When I don't say fail, and maybe that's the wrong choice of words, Coach, is people overlook. How you say overlook or forget? And I'll go that way. Is when he was at OKC, he was a 6-man.
Yes, sir.
People forget this dude was a 6-man when he was with Westbrook and when he was with Kevin Durant. So my thing is, where has the 6-man gone in the NBA? To where when you go back and you had the Vinnie Johnsons of the world, the microwave, these dudes would come in and just be instant offense. You had the Crawford that played for the Clippers. He would come in and he could get you 20, 25, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's just like, okay, and just like Atlanta, I like how Atlanta plays my guy. And I said this, and I'm going to go ahead and say it publicly. If Coach Quick says that the Heat's going to be in the NBA Finals, I'm going to dust off the comment that I made a couple years back. I always said Cam Reddish was the best out of the three that was at Duke. And somebody said, what? To me, he's better than R.J. Barrett, and he's better than Zion. And I told guys when I said that kid he's the sleeper because you ain't got but one ball. R.J. Barrett was the number one guy coming into college basketball, but Zion got all the hoopla because he jumping up over the square and dunking backwards, and he's defying gravity as big as he is. But mark my word, Coach Quick said the Heat's gonna win the NBA champion. Gonna be in the finals. And I'm telling you, Cam Reddish is going to be the up and coming guy in this league. So just mark my word. Hey, we're gonna switch over to the West Coast.
Yes, sir.
And we know that them Warriors are 5-1. Okay. Now here I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get off this dude's case. I do not like how Steph Curry acts after he scores a bucket. I can't stand it. Score the ball, go down the floor, versus all this stuff that he does. Now, if you had certain players doing that, you would never hear the end of it. And why does he? And I'm just like, dude. And I think that's what rubs me wrong with that guy is why do you act like that? When I just and plus he kills the game. And when I say kills the game, as a coach of young players and being in the gym with young players, as soon as they walk in, coach, first thing they want to grab the ball and shoot the three. They're not strong enough to shoot the three. They're jacking they're losing their form. So I'm done with Curry bashing. What you got on the Warriors?
Well, I agree with you with your sentiments on Steph Curry. After you scored the ball, get your butt back down the floor.
Yep.
Defend. You ain't got to do all that showmanship and show the opponent up.
Nope.
Okay. Golden State, they have some key injuries right now in key spots.
Yep.
The 7'1" kid, James Wiseman, is out with an injury. Klay Thompson, who is arguably one of the top 5 shooters to ever play this game, he's out right now, but he hasn't played in 2 years.
Wow.
In over 2 years. If he can come back healthy, the Golden State Warriors can be a contender for the NBA championship. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. You've heard it here on Basketball More Than a Game. When you've set out the game of basketball for 2 years, that's hard to overcome.
That's tough. 2 years is 2 years. And people say, oh, well, that's 2 years. But here's the thing. You've aged 2 years.
That's right.
People say he's working out. Working out and playing is totally 2 different things. And that's correct. Your assessment is spot on. Okay, so we see the Jazz sitting at 4-1. The Nuggets are 4-2. The Mavericks are 3-2. And you know, and I was a little blown away that the Mavericks put up Porzingis on the shelf, and I'm like, and I think it was Friday night. That's exactly what it was. Friday night. So I'm gonna watch the game, pull it up, and he's in the suit, and I'm like, what the heck is going on with this? The dude's almost like a China doll. Right?
Yes.
And I know they said day to day and all this other stuff, but I'm just like, you know what? This day to day is killing me. And all of me, you know what? One guy I forgot about to talk about when we talking about the Heat. Victor Oladipo is hurt. He's out. And the question is, will he be able to give you 60 games? I don't know. Well, what's your take on Oladipo?
Oodles of talent. I'm like you. I don't know if he could ever give us 60 full games, much less the 82. Right. And really, Vic is going to get lost in the shadows in Miami. Mm-hmm. With some of the talent that they brought in, the toughness that they brought in, where's he going to play? Tyler Hero has to play. He has the green light right now.
Yep, you exactly.
So where are you going to play Vic at? You going to play him at the backup point guard behind Kyle Lowry? Mm. That might be the best spot for him. Mm. But the injury bug has hit him and it stayed on him. And, he's such a gifted scorer, gifted athlete. I pray that he gets healthy and is able to get back. But, time is winding down. Yep.
Hey, man, you know who he kind of reminds me injury-wise? Derrick Rose.
Yes, sir.
When you look at Derrick Rose was boom, 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 going in the middle, and then he started having injuries, and Oladipo was a guy going to the well. He started having, so hopefully he can get that thing right. So listen, I want to finish up with the Lakers because we still got to talk college basketball.
Yes, sir.
The Lakers are 3-3, and here's what they're looking like. Anthony Davis is day to day. Wayne Ellington is out. LeBron's day to day. Kendrick Nunn is out. Horton Tucker is out, and Trevor Ariza is out. What is going on with your Lakers, Coach?
At this point in time, the injury bug has hit us in training camp. Not to make any excuses because you still have enough to be playing decent basketball. But with those Lakers, the chemistry has got to come. I mean, you got Russell Westbrook who's actually a smaller version of LeBron. Russell has to have the ball in his hands, but at the same time, he turns the ball over. So, in my opinion, LeBron has to handle that rock more than anybody. Russell can't shoot the ball the best, but man, you cannot question the toughness of this kid, how hard he goes, and I just feel like the Lakers are going to right that ship, and they're going to be one of the teams in the end with a chance to win it all. But they got to get this chemistry down, do whatever you got to do to get it down, but you got to make it happen.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And AD's got to be a player, and AD's got to get on the block, and AD's got to play the game.
Correct. Something else about the Lakers.
Go ahead.
Get your butt in a defensive stance. Now, I'm talking Russell Westbrook. I'm talking Carmelo Anthony. I'm talking LeBron James. You have to defend at a high level. The guys that you traded away for Russell Westbrook, they were all top-notch defenders. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, as well as Kyle Kuzma. Those guys defended. You brought back Avery Bradley, who was waived by the Golden State Warriors. Avery Bradley got to play. Before the pandemic, Avery Bradley was arguably your best on-ball defender that you had. He chose not to go to the bubble and represent the Lakers due to the COVID pandemic. But now you got him back. You can't just sit him on that bench. Avery Bradley can not only defend, he can shoot the three ball. What does LeBron, AD, and Russ need the most? They need three-point shooters.
That's right. That's right. So listen, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick. We're going to step away, and we'll be right back. All right, listen, we are back in, and you know what? If you think that we're going to end this show and not talk about ACC men's preseason media poll, you're sadly mistaken. You don't know Coach G and you don't know Coach Q. Coach Q, what do you think about ACC basketball this season?
I personally think it's going to be another outstanding year. We're top heavy from the 1 through 5. Should be a great year. I think the poll had Duke 1, Florida State 2, Carolina 3, Virginia 4, Virginia Tech 5, and Louisville 6. Louisville was 6, I believe.
That's correct.
So I think all those top 6 teams should securely plant themselves in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be a great year. Florida State defensively is probably the best defensive team in the league. They're well coached. Leonard Hamilton has had them ready to roll for the last several years. Of course, Coach K in the Swan song. He's bringing in some multi-talented freshmen, along with some key returners. So I think they're going to be good. But my personal pick for the ACC regular season champions, first-year head coach Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels, what they did in the transfer portal and rebuilding their team, it says to me a lot. If they can come together early, and the key to their squad is going to be Caleb Love and R.J. Davis, how they're able to make the transition to year 2 being point guards in Carolina's offense. And then, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought Carolina was going to change and not run, you're sadly mistaken. We're coming. We're opening it up, so get ready. I fully expect the Heels to be one of the top teams in the country.
Oh, man. So he's getting, boy, I tell you what, like I said, I'm surprised his mic's still plugged in. I thought he might be on the way to Chapel Hill right now. So let's get Coach Quick got us to number 6. So let's go ahead and run the table. So we got Syracuse, Notre Dame, 9, North Carolina State, 10, Georgia Tech, 11, Clemson, 12, Miami, 13 is Wake Forest, Pitt is at 14, and BC is at 15. So in that, there's a. I tell you what, I am so ready to rock and roll with college basketball. I can't stand it. I can't wait till it's Big Monday on ESPN. I just can't wait to be able to walk into an arena and the balls bouncing. I just can't wait to sit down and you start going down through and say, man, who you got going into this game and who's number 2, and in them Saturday at 12 o'clock games. I mean, we missed so much last year, Coach, and not being able to go. I think it was probably one of the first times since I might have been in high school that I did not darken the gym of a college game, and really, really missed it. So excited about getting back into this. So again, Duke 1, Florida State 2, North Carolina 3, Virginia 4, Virginia Tech 5, and Louisville number 6. Now, I'm going to kick it over to Coach Quick. And as we start wrapping this up, it's been Coach Goins, Coach Quick today in the studio, chopping it up by ourselves, getting everybody in the prelude of this college basketball season. Oh, but you know what, Coach Quick? I will toss this out, and I'll kick it over you to get us out of here. Two of our former guests that we had on actually played each other this weekend. And that was Coach Bobby Collins from Shaw University and Coach Walter Shaw from Brunswick Community College. I think the game went, it was a battle. I think it ended up 94-92. Shaw winning, but hats off to both of those coaches that took time out to jump on basketball more in the game, and we certainly appreciate them and look forward to as their season rolls. But I just wanted to give that a shout out. So I'm going to kick it over to Coach Quick for his final comments, and he's going to close us out. Coach.
Yes, sir. Coach G, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Today's show has been great. I enjoyed it to be able to sit here and talk with you about NBA, Major League Baseball, college football, college basketball, ACC basketball. It's just been a joy and a pleasure. And I just like to say to our listening audience, especially to our young people, dreams without goals remain dreams and filled with disappointment. Between goals and achievement is discipline and consistency. So I pray that late at night when you put your shoes up under your bed, put them far up under your bed, and while you're down there on your knees, begin to pray and thank God for grace, mercy, and understanding. And then I want you to allow your hearts and minds to search your soul for a vision to be a better you. And if you happen to fall, get back up, because it's not in the fall, it's how you get up. Now for Coach Goins, myself, Coach Quick, we'll see you in the gym.
You've been listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Our podcast is available on podbean.com.